Today on Seattle Refined, inside the old Rainier Brewery.
So the ghost smokes weed.
Yes, he's definitely a scotch and weed man.
We get an exclusive tour of one of the city's most fascinating and historic buildings.
This is really unique.
Plus,
Good job, keep it going.
it's a celebration of all things Waldo. But where in the world was this crazy race? Then,
These are sexy fries or an appetizer. Best in town.
we hit the road to discover some amazing grub in the Palm Springs of Washington. Seattle Refined starts now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Have you ever gone by a building in Seattle and thought, I wonder what's in there? I do it all the time. And there's one place that a Refined team was beyond curious about. We're talking about the old Rainier Brewery in Sodo. Rainier beer pumped out of that building for more than a century, from the late 1800s to the late 1990s. That R on top is more symbolic now. Rainier has brewed its beer in California for nearly 20 years. So what's inside the building? Refined got an exclusive tour. Broken windows, a battered smokestack, and tons of graffiti. You may think the old Rainier Brewery is just an empty building that's housing pigeons and dust. But don't judge this book by its cover.
So there's a story behind every door, and I have lots of doors.
Larry Hoff manages the property, and after some convincing, he agreed to show us around the old brewery.
And how many different buildings do you have here?
There's 25 different buildings.
And all different businesses and people living here.
From a forensic lab to music studios to unique lofts to a room that was off limits to just us, there's something fascinating at every turn. Hey, how many keys do you have?
Too many. So this is where they used to come in the old days and have beer on Friday afternoons. They had free beer. Everybody who came in Seattle would come here, have a taste of beer. When they first started out in the early 1900s, they were sending 25 railroad cars full of beer out a day.
You're kidding.
It was huge. And they had 25 teams of horses that would deliver beer in Seattle. These old murals are the original stuff. I'd like to show you one of our unique office spaces. This is in a vault. In the old days, they paid cash for everything.
So it's a vault and it's actually someone's office?
Yes.
Wow. This is really unique.
Welcome to another office space that we have here at the brewery.
We go through another magical door, and look what we have here. What is this? What's the ceiling about?
A plumber at one time decided that he was going to redo the ceiling. It was his tiles. It was an all-tiled room, and then he decided to put up copper.
And what is this room used for, or what was it used for?
I believe it's some sort of a cooking room, some sort of a lab or something.
Got it? Pull it down. How much beer do you think this little elevator carried here?
Millions of gallons.
Millions of gallons of beer on this
Cakes, yes, lots of cakes.
Where are we going to next?
The one place we're headed to next is a new sound music studio. These are the refrigeration doors we kept.
Wow, look at this space.
This is a recording studio
This
for
is
Milo.
really cool. Super unique when you talk about the old Rainier brewing, spot,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're in here doing your thing.
Yeah, well, actually it worked out perfectly because it's one of the few spaces that the brick actually acts as a natural soundproofing. So there's very little work on my end I had to do to contain the sound,
So I noticed this on the wall. You work with this guy, huh?
The hometown hero, yeah. I had a chance to work with him a couple times over the year. He's the most humble guy in the business, absolutely. Sweetheart. He's come a long ways. I'm proud of him.
It looks like Larry's come a long way too. He's starting to loosen up. Time for our next stop. Right across the hallway from Milo's recording studio is yet another creative outlet. The costume hub for Julia's on Broadway, Seattle's longest-running celebrity impersonation show.
Look at the color in this place. Wow, look at this. This really is spectacular.
This is our production studio, so here we're actually designing and making all of the costumes for our 3 different shows. It's a very fun building. I love it here. It has a lot of history and people know it, and it's just a different kind of space, and it helps build creativity just being in an interesting old building.
It must be in the water. Creativity poured from almost every room.
I'm a food photographer. I take photos of packages for advertisements. I specialize in liquid splashes, so that just means like throwing liquids in the air and freezing. I was looking around for a lot of different spaces to have my studio at, and this just fit the bill because it was an industrial space, but it was a little bit more refined, and it overlooks Seattle. And just being in a historic building, people come in. I don't know. It's just like a vibe about it.
This is Slab Art, and this is their studios. These are local woods, saved and repurposed. They're actually beautiful pieces of art.
Yeah. $5,700, Larry.
Expensive, but
beautiful.
well worth it. So Gar, behind another door is another unique and interesting company called
Another magical door, right?
Magical Door.
All right, let's peek inside. So what is this?
This is Human Ink.
We are really building the interfaces of computing for tomorrow. And our first product is really around the ultimate sound and voice product. We're doing that in a headphone form factor that's completely redesigned and re-engineered for the human.
You guys drink Rainier beer when you're up here working?
It's the only thing we drink. That and coffee.
The tour was blowing me away, but I have to admit, there is a creepy side to the old Rainier Brewery. What do you got here? Oh, gosh. What is that? Is that the steam plant?
That's the old steam plant.
Oh, that's ugly.
It's been in disrepair for a long time.
But nothing spooked me more than this yarn business in one of the older buildings. They have a resident ghost who is, interesting.
All of us have seen the ghost.
What's it look like?
It's a very vague, smoky man. He's not violent, nor is he mean, but he will play little tricks on you. We all had bells and trinkets hanging from the pipes. It will make them move. We would sometimes stay here by ourselves around 9 to midnight to get our orders out, and it will walk by us. It will make things move, drop, and our dogs would bark and get really upset, so we'd take off and leave. But
Is he a
he's
beer
not-
drinker? Is he a Rainier beer drinker?
No, he likes scotch.
Really?
Yes, he loves scotch.
And how do you know?
I smell it, and also he likes weed a lot.
So the ghost gets high.
He's not only high, but he's also high. But jokes aside, he does exist. Yeah, you look at me like that, but he does exist.
That story freaked out my producer Jenna so much, she lost it when Larry went rogue and turned out the lights in the eerie old elevator. Not cool, Larry. Not cool. It was time to wrap this tour up.
One last door and into the last area I wanted to show you today.
Look at this art, graffiti art.
Yes. It sort of changes on me. I never know quite what they're going to do.
A lot of stuff going on here at the old Rainier beer place, right?
Oh, it's fun. It's great fun.
You know what? I need a beer.
Let's go have one.
All right, let's go.
Got it.
You can see even more of our exclusive Rainier Brewery tour we didn't have time to show you. Check out our complete gallery online. Seattle Refined is just getting started.
There's a lot of shame around it still, I think. You know, being honest enough to say, I need that.
From cuddle clubs to isolation tanks, find out what busy Seattleites are doing to de-stress. Plus, hardcore Where's Waldo fans race to the finish line, but what's behind this peculiar run? But first, we need your help to crown the very best of the season around Western Washington. We've launched the first ever So Northwest Awards Fall Edition. Right now, you can nominate your favorite autumn things to do, see, drink, and eat in our region at seattlerefined.com/fall awards. And if you participate, you can enter for a chance to win a grand prize that includes 2 tickets to see the Nutcracker at the Pacific Northwest Ballet and a one-night stay at the Alexis Hotel in the PNB Suite. Again, go to seattlerefined.com/fall awards for voting guidelines and complete contest rules. Welcome back to the show. I'm Garth Swanson. If you are a fan of puzzles, then chances are you are familiar with Where's Waldo? The popular children's books first hit bookstores 30 years ago, challenging people to find the striped, bespectacled character. Kids couldn't wait to run to the store to buy them. And now, as Refined's John Prentice explains, those kids are all grown up and running for a different reason.
3, 2, 1.
Waldo isn't normally an easy guy to track down, but recently, running through the early morning mist in Seattle's Cowan Park, you couldn't help but find Waldo. More than 200 of them. Everywhere.
Have you guys seen Waldo?
Did a lot of them.
This is the Waldo 5K.
My husband and I run a company called Run to Be Fit, and we decided to do a fun run for the community.
Woo! Good job, keep it going.
Husband Arnie and wife Grace specialize in putting together wacky races like this and say a Waldo run just seemed like a good idea. Participants we spoke with say they had a great time, but came for different reasons.
Exercise, and I could never find Waldo in my life, so actually I was trying to find Waldo.
But the hunt didn't stop there. Even the numbers are a puzzle.
So the bibs, they actually are framed from the Where's Waldo book. So it has all the characters, and you have to find Where's Waldo on there.
Yeah, we tried to find Waldo here, but we couldn't.
Haven't found Waldo. All I saw was row number 107.
I did find the Waldo on the bib, yes.
Where is he?
It's in one of the corners. Oh no, I lost it.
That Waldo guy sure is elusive. Also hard to catch, Don and Robbie. They're the fastest runners here today, but apparently missed the Waldo memo.
Great job. How does it feel to be the fastest Waldo?
I'm not Waldo, man.
Not too far behind, Terrell and Cecily. They push a baby carriage the whole way, and somehow their daughter is the tired one.
I'm heavy. I thought I had it on the way around, but those hills really got me at the end.
And race organizers say a portion of the entry fees from the Waldo 5K will go to the Red Cross to help storm victims.
Good job.
Waldo's running for fun and running for charity.
Waldo's everywhere. Well, it's never so easy to find him.
John Prentice, Seattle, Refined.
To learn more or watch that story again, check out our website. If you think the Where's Waldo run is a little out there, you ain't seen nothing yet. Feast your eyes on the Doll and Teddy Bear Show. This eclectic event really happened in Puyallup earlier this month. The show is exactly what the name implies, a giant gathering of dolls, teddy bears, and miniatures, and the people who enjoy them. Check out the gallery online. It's definitely not something you see every day. And how's this for a flight of fancy? The annual Bird Masquerade swooped its way into the Seattle Aquarium earlier this month. The annual event is put on by the Seattle Audubon as a fundraiser for birds and nature, and people really do go all out. From colorful masks to hats that look like nests, this party is for the birds, literally. Check out all the photos on our site. Up next on Refined.
Well, it's really charming and it has a local feel.
A dining experience worth crossing the Cascades for. Plus, peculiar ways to relieve the stress of being a Seattleite. Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. When you think of paradises, Yakima may not be the first city that comes to mind. But as Washington Grown's Christy Goranson shows us, the heart of Central Washington has something to brag about when it comes to delicious grub.
We're back in downtown Yakima at the Metropolitan Kitchen 5 North. It's an urban restaurant offering fresh, local fare.
The lamb burgers. You gotta have the lamb burgers. Do you know about the lamb burgers?
Tell me about the lamb burgers.
I mean, it's sensational. It's really good.
These are sexy fries. They're an appetizer. Best in town. They have a special ketchup with them, too. It's got like a curry to it. It's top notch.
There's nothing here that isn't good.
Now, Chef Brad Massett is teaching us how to make one of his restaurant's signature dishes.
We've got some fresh Chillicothe King salmon, and what we're going to do is we're going to brush it with a little bit of olive oil.
Okay. And this is something that's on the menu.
This is on our summertime
One of
menu.
your favorites.
Correct, yes.
Nice. So just brush it with olive oil.
A little bit of olive oil, need a pinch of salt and pepper.
Okay. Do that.
Perfect.
Should tell me how much.
Perfect.
Good? Okay.
Absolutely. And we're going to put it on a very hot grill, face down.
Okay. While the salmon's on the grill, Brad and I shuck some corn. So you just cut it off.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. That's easy. Big knife. Got it. Some good Washington grown corn. You use a lot of local ingredients.
We do. This time of year, we use as much as we possibly can.
Good stuff. Once the corn is ready, we mix it with some red and green peppers and onions. As we set that to the side, our salmon is ready to be flipped. That looks good.
We've got our white wine.
Okay.
And a little bit of brown sugar. basted on top.
You're using the Two Mountain Riesling and brown sugar.
Yes.
So to me,
Yeah.
that sounds sweet. And
It
you
is.
want
It just
that
got a little
sweet.
bit of sweetness to it, yeah, which I think salmon lends itself to it.
We start sautéing our fresh vegetables. Then we add in our freshly cut corn mixture.
So these are just about ready.
This is so fast. I love this because that's the way you want when you're eating
Summertime dish, absolutely.
fresh stuff like this. It's like done.
The salmon is finished and ready to come out of the oven.
And that is our summertime troll-caught salmon dish. Potato salad, all local veggies.
Oh, I can see why this is a customer favorite
Yes,
here at
yeah.
Five North. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful plate.
Love it. So we need to dig in. Some forks. One for you.
Thank you.
One for me. Gosh. Gotta get it all.
Beautiful salmon. And just a hint of sweetness.
I love the sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You can see more stories like that one from our friends at Washington Grown every Wednesday here on Refined. Seattle Refined will be right back. If you Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Little known fact for you. Today is National Stress Awareness Day. Now, if you ask most people if they're stressed out about something in their lives, they'll probably answer yes. I mean, we all have our junk. But as Refined's John Prentice discovered, some Seattleites have found some pretty unusual ways to chill out and relax.
Stress. Mental health professionals say it's part of everyday life. What you may not see every day is how some Seattleites choose to deal with it.
I just want to be alone.
If you're looking for peace and quiet, it's hard to find a place quieter than inside one of these.
So when you're in the pod and you lay back, your entire body is supported by the water. And if you turn off the lights, the music fades out, you have no distractions coming at you. It's just you, it's quiet. You're free to think or not think about whatever you want.
Before founding Urban Float, Joe Beaudry used to work in the corporate world.
It was just very stressful work. I was looking for a way to de-stress, and I came across floating online. I read about it, got really intrigued, and there was nowhere to do it in the area.
So Joe bought some pods and Urban Float was born. Since then, tens of thousands have visited his stores, like this one in Fremont, to give sensory deprivation a shot. Tammy Gibson loves it.
Inside the pod, I can feel my brainwaves just slowing down. My thoughts become more clear. I sleep better, so there's a lot of benefits.
Dr. George Ankuta is a licensed clinical psychologist who has been practicing in Seattle for 25 years. So it's fair to say he knows a thing or two about people under stress.
Stress comes with life, having children, financial responsibilities, and a mortgage.
He says one of the most significant tools for battling stress is having someone to talk to.
And the absence of it is a stress in itself.
Is the Seattle freeze real?
It seems to be quite real. I mean, everyone will talk about it, particularly in therapy. I work a lot with people who have moved from different cities, and they will get together for a trivia hour in a bar, and then, on the weekend suddenly they don't know them. And I think that's sad for some people, that they want to feel close to someone.
LaShonda Williams says she's helping thaw the Seattle freeze every day.
This is the Cuddle Club. We cuddle, there's massage therapy, there's Reiki, we have community events.
At her club in West Seattle, LaShonda says members can snuggle up on the couch to read, watch movies, or just chat.
Cuddling, it's different to different people. Initially, it's a relaxation feeling. People who don't have touch in their life, when you feel it, your muscles soften, like your blood pressure goes down, you relax. It's healthy.
LaShonda has about 80 cuddlers in her club and says she's happy to help those who need her service.
There's a lot of shame around it still, I think. Being honest enough to say, I need that, and I don't have it.
Massage therapy has a long tradition of being healing. Cuddling therapy is an extension of that, but also not exactly proven to reduce anxiety and stress.
Dr. Ankuta says the best place to cuddle is at home with a loved one, and if you or someone you care about has experienced serious anxiety, stress, or depression, to seek licensed professional help.
Collecting experiences that are fulfilling and healing help people achieve the health and happiness that they aspire to in life.
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
To learn more or watch that story again, log on to the website. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gard Swanson. Thanks for joining us here on Seattle Refined. We'll see you next time.